Hey everyone, thank you for joining me for my review of Don't Worry Darling. When I first saw the trailer for this movie, I was so excited. Not only because I'm a big fan of Florence Pugh and she's done wonderful performances in everything she's in, even if the movie is so, but this looked like she was going to take it to another level and have more range and more things to do in this weird psychological thriller movie that the trailer showed us. And then I saw that Olivia Wilde was directing it, and I'm a big fan of Booksmart. I thought that was a great first time movie that someone could do, and this seems like this was like a bigger scope of a movie with a bigger idea. Then I saw Chris Pine was in it, and I'm a really big fan of Chris Pine. He's really usually a charming guy that execute his role really well, but he's playing an antagonist, so that made me really intrigued. Can Olivia Wilde pull it off again? Will she have a sophomore slump like Booksmart was just like a good lightning in the bottle situation, and she can't do it again? Then all the drama started happening. Shia LaBeouf and them two battling about if she fired him or not because he was supposed to be playing part of Harry Styles' character, and then Harry Styles potentially spitting on Chris Pine, which was a weird situation. And then all the reviews started coming out from Venice, and it was not looking good. So on top of all this negative press it was getting because of the drama, the reviews are showing that the movie may not be able to hold up. Is this movie a full-on disaster? That's what I'm going to be talking about as I break down the good and the bad. But before I get into that and the premise, remember to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video with your fellow movie enthusiasts, and drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the movie. Let's start with what the movie is about. In the 1950s, Alex and Jack live in an idealized community of Victory, an experimental company town that houses the men who work on a top secret project. While the husbands toil away, the wives enjoy the beauty, the luxury, and the sensuality of their seemingly perfect paradise. However, when the cracks in their idyllic life begin to appear, exposing flashes of something sinister lurking below the surface, Alice can't help but question exactly what she's doing in Victory. Let's start off with the good. Florence Pugh is fantastic, giving her best performance in the movie to date, as Olivia Wilde requested her to do a lot of heavy lifting. She plays Alice, who seems to be this very obedient housewife to Harry Styles' Jack, and she is very charming. She's very fun. She's the younger one of the group, so she's like the little sister to everybody, and her and Harry Styles' character Jack can't get enough of each other. It's this idealized 1950s kind of lifestyle: white picket fence, floral dresses, the men have these old school cars, everything seeming perfect. But once one of her close friends in this small town starts to act erratic, she sees the cracks and the weird things that's actually going on in the town, and she becomes paranoid, which causes her to start questioning everything. And Florence Pugh does a fantastic job. This is similar to her character in Midsummer, but she took it up to a whole nother level and dealing with a even more weirder situation. And I think she knocked it out of the park with her performance, showing an range of emotions that she executes perfectly. And this seemingly paradise called Victory is built by the character Frank, played by Chris Pine, where Chris Pine is usually the protagonist in a film, charismatic, likable, person that's trying to save everyone. In this film, he takes a refreshing role here as he plays this still charismatic, likable, seeming like he's trying to help everyone, has good intentions, but you can tell that he has this cultist, sinister vibe to him, the suspicious vibe to him, where you're not too sure what everything's going on, what it's about, but you can see that he's leading all these people into something. And the movie does a really good job of weaving that tale and using him in the forefront, and very sparingly. He comes in at moments, like perfect moments of time in the movie, to really set off the intrigue. And Harry Styles as Jack was a lot better than expected. A lot of the reviews trashed his performance in this movie, and I really don't understand it. He did a really good job for what he was supposed to convey. I think that his performance wasn't, killer. He's not like an Oscar nominee, or like he's not going to be like, oh my God, this guy's on fire. But he did a really good job with what he was given. And I really believed him in the role for the most part. And he is given a lot to do as well in this movie. So if you don't like his performance and the execution that he does, it might hurt your feelings of how the movie is done. He is a pivotal part in some of the twists and turns that this movie takes. And while he didn't knock it out of the park, I do believe that he held his own against Florence Pugh's phenomenal performance. And on a technical level, I think Olivia Wilde and the rest of her crew that did the production did a fantastic job all around. The cinematography is gorgeous. The set design is amazing. The costumes and the clothing that everyone wears is beautiful. And the camera work that she does here is very, very interesting. She captures the claustrophobic, paranoia, thriller-ish parts of this film really, really well, especially for someone where this is their second film. She did a great job of really honing on when the camera just needs to sit still and let the actor perform, and when she needs to do something interesting to really engage us in it and do different tricks and stuff with the set design that I thought was really, really nice. And this movie is a psychological thriller set with the backdrop of paranoia and trying to figure out what's going on, and it's taking the audience for a ride. And for me, I know a lot of people said that this movie's predictable, but for me, I had different ideas of what's going on, but every time I had a certain idea, something else would be put in where I'm like, okay, maybe it's not that. It had me second guessing a bit until they actually revealed the full thing and my eyes open wide, and it made it a great theater experience where you can see everybody and hear everybody in the theater kind of gasp or like that simultaneous eye opening, like, oh crap, this is what's going on, this is crazy. And I think the ride that it took us on after that was like the best 30 minutes in a movie that I've seen in a long time all year. It was just got really, really exciting, and even though you kind of knew where it was going, you just wanted to see how it play out and just follow Florence Pugh character since she was such a likable and powerhouse performance. Let's get into the bad. So while I do think the story was strong and had me engaged and hooked me in from the beginning, I do think that it didn't dive deep enough into the messages it was trying to convey, or even some of the characters' motivations that they held here. It was kind of a surface level, and I feel like if the script was baked in the oven just a little bit more, a couple more times, then this could have been not just a really good movie, but a great movie, like a fantastic A+ movie. But with the way it is now, it's still really entertaining. It's still really, really good, but it's not great. And even though that I think overall the movie is paced very, very well, every time I thought that something was gonna get like elongate or be stretched out a little too far, something weird happened. I was like, oh, okay, got me in, and that would carry on, plus the old thing as well, and start twisting together. But the beginning of the movie is a bit slow, so don't give up on it right away. It takes its time to get really, really interesting, but for me, once it started getting good, it got me hooked. Let's get into the verdict. So Don't Worry Darling is getting way too much hate, way more than it actually deserves. I think that this is a great sophomore outing by Olivia Wilde as a director, backed by a phenomenal performance by Florence Pugh, and the supporting cast for the most part does a really, really good job. And overall, I've had a really good time watching this in the movie theater and seeing everybody's reaction to it. So if you're going to watch this movie in the movie theater, or wait for it to go on streaming, because I don't think you have to run out and see it in the movie theater, especially if you're going by yourself. Go in with an open mind and let the movie take you for a ride, and you will enjoy what you have when you see the movie. Florence Pugh's performance is enough for the price of admission alone. So with that said, I'm going to give this movie a C+. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What would you rate Don't Worry Darling? Did you like it as much as I did? Did you like it more? Did you hate it and think it was a dumpster fire like all the critics are saying? Drop all those comments down below and let me know. Remember to like the video, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed anymore. It really helps the channel grow, and join this community of movie and television show lovers, and hit that notification bell so you can be reminded of my reviews, reactions, and ranking lists. You can actually watch more of my content right now.